Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The First Turtle collectible figure from Mondo. That's right, Mondo has gotten into the business of making toys, and one of the things that they're producing that has had me very excited is a line of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. Now, they're all high-end and a bit on the pricey side, but the things that they're offering have been very appealing for an old-school Turtle fan like myself, such as this First Turtle. This particular action figure is based on the original scribble that was done on a napkin by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird while they were discussing the idea for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book. Pretty cool to see this original sketch done in action figure form, so let's check it out. As you can see, it just comes in a nice, large green box that has that original sketch of Michelangelo right there on the front of the box. They really changed quite a bit from that original drawing, didn't they? When you rotate the box around to the back side, I really love this. There's a little quote that says, "In 1983, what started as a joke and a scribble on a napkin turned into something comic artists Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird could never have imagined." How cool is that? Now, what I have here is the Deluxe version. This was offered in two different formats. You had the black and white normal version, and then the black and white Deluxe version. There's also full color versions, which I've got one of those on the way as well. But today, we're just taking a look at the black and white Deluxe version, which also comes with two interchangeable heads, giving us colored bandanas, which you can see right there inside the box. So once we got them all pulled out of the box, this, my friends, is our brand new figure based on that original piece of concept art. The very first doodle of a Ninja Turtle, right here in 3D action figure form. Really, really cool stuff. Now, if we get a measurement here, you can see he stands right at about 6.5 inches tall, getting close to 7 inches. So he is a bit large and he's a bit beefy. He's made of PVC plastic and he's very hefty. That's one thing that I guess I wasn't really expecting. I'm not sure why, because the measurements were there when I ordered it, but when I opened him, I was kind of impressed with just how big and hefty he was. He's very solid, very sturdy feeling. And just for fun, how about we go ahead and get this out of the way now? A little bit of comparison time. We've got the First Turtle figure here, standing alongside several of the other different variations of Michelangelo from Playmates toys and NECA toys in all the different styles, just so you can see how this looks compared to them and how he measures up height-wise. So the figure itself, let's go ahead and take a look at the details here. Now, this is all based on that original sketch, like I said, so that is exactly how he's modeled. Much more turtle-like than they actually turned out being. But one thing that I think was really done very well with this was how it was translated into 3D form. Sometimes it's hard to take little sketches like that and turn it into a 3D model and have it still look good, but I must say that the folks at Mondo did a really, really great job here. And they also did a good job with that whole black and white look. Now, we've seen some black and white Turtles figures in the past. Sometimes they look good, sometimes not so much. This is one of the ones that looks really good. The black line work is all sculpted in and then painted black, and it does a great job of mimicking kind of the line drawings that are seen, the line shading and everything in that original sketch. Looks very cool all the way around. Great details. Love all the shading that's worked in here. Of course, he's got the nunchucks, which are attached to his wrists. That's the way it was in that original drawing. They are solid. They're non-removable. They're part of the sculpt there. They are permanently attached, but you can see it on the wrists of both of the hands there. The turtle shell is much bigger, like I said, very much more realistic turtle-like. You even got the little tail poking out of the bottom of the shell there, and even the feet. You know, they got the bigger feet with kind of like the little claws sticking off of them there. Just a really cool look overall. I think this is quite amazing how well that original piece of artwork was brought into this 3D form. Now, it is an action figure, which means there's a little bit of articulation with this guy, so let me show you that real quick. The head's on a joint that allows it to kind of swivel left and right, which is at the base of the neck there. The arms just have the ability to swivel at the elbows, so you can see I can kind of move the arm there. The right arm I can swivel up at the shoulder. That's all the movement we're really going to get, though. We do have additional swivel up here at the elbow on the right arm, but you can see it's not much of a movement, and really this is one of those cases where the articulation doesn't really mean a whole lot. Same with the legs. You can see I can swivel the legs side to side at the thighs. I can also rotate the feet at the ankles there, but he's based on a specific pose from that artwork, which means there's really only one way you can stand him where he looks right. So the articulation, it doesn't really matter on a figure like this. He is much more meant to be a display piece to look like a 3D representation of that original artwork. Now, I mentioned that I had some interchangeable heads since I have the deluxe version. So here you can see I have two different heads, which the sculpts themselves are exactly the same. But one of them has a red bandana, of course, because that's the way that all the turtles had in the original comics. They all wore red. And then I've got one with the more familiar orange from Michelangelo, which is how he's depicted now with an orange bandana. You can see the colors are bright. They're vibrant on there. They still retain the black line work and the shading, which looks really nice. So let me show you real quick how to swap those on and off. You're going to have to give a nice firm pull on the head. You can see they're just on a little peg joint there. Nice hole. There's a socket there to pull out, but they're very, very tight, which is good because you don't want it to be too loose. And then you can just work the new one in, and again, got to put a little bit of pressure behind it. You can pop it in place, and now we can display them if we want to with either the red bandana or the orange bandana, which actually brings a bit of a cool look to this. I really like the idea of him being all black and white except for the bandana. Pretty sweet. Now, I love this thing overall, but this is where I have to point out my one minor complaint with this, and I was actually a bit bummed out by it. So consider this a warning. When you are switching the heads on and off, the bandanas have a tendency to rub on the back of the shell, and unfortunately, the paint rubs right off. I don't know how well it's coming out in the camera. I tried to get good shots of it, but I have orange scuffs all over the back of the shell up here that I haven't been able to work all the way off because the paint rubbed right off the orange bandana onto the white shell. That is a bit of a bummer considering he's all white and he's very clean looking. The colors from the bandana have a tendency to kind of dirty him up a little bit, which could ruin the overall look. So that is one thing that I was really bummed out by, especially since he's such a pricey figure. I kind of wish that we didn't have any paint rub. So don't make the same mistake I did. Be a little bit careful if you're planning on switching the heads. As a longtime Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, it's really cool to get an action figure representation of this original concept art. And speaking of that original concept art, one of the other things I love that was included is we do actually get a nice quality print of the original sketch. So you can see that we got our turtle standing right next to that original sketch by Kevin Eastman, and it's very cool. Definitely makes for a unique display piece. This is definitely meant for the long time or the high-end collectors of Ninja Turtles because he is pricey. He's sold at $100 and he's sold out instantly, which means the only way you can get this guy now is if you can find him secondhand. So he might be even more expensive than he was originally. With that being said, if you want to drop the money, I think he's well worth having. Just be careful of the colored bandanas rubbing off. Otherwise, he's a very nice collectible, and I'm excited to see what else Mondo has to offer. So there you go, my friends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on one of my videos. Until next time, my friends.